Hi, good morning. Welcome everybody. I'm Pedro Carrascal. I'm the president of EMSP. We are ready to start this virtual annual MS conference, EMSP conference. This is a really very special year for us. For all of us, the COVID pandemic has impacted our lives everywhere. Of course, has impacted the annual meeting. We were expected to meet in Madrid this year in May. We postponed to autumn, and now we are organizing it virtually. On one hand, we are missing all you being together, touching and living and the previous year, contacting, seeing the smiles. But on the other hand, we are gathering over 500 people today and tomorrow at this annual conference. So familiar faces, but also new ones. That is the good news also. I want to welcome all you on to the meeting. This year, the topic will be understanding multiple sclerosis, progressive multiple sclerosis. Over 1 million Europeans are living with MS. Between 10 and 15% of those have been diagnosed with progressive forms. Despite the advance of MS research, we are still waiting for new treatments, new drugs. We still have too few treatments on progressive forms. So the theme of this year is very important because we need to strengthen the importance of the research and improving the advance of the progressive forms. And we want also to put in the agenda the needs of that. The clinical trials are still quite slow. Too many years are needed to see new treatments, and this is of course a problem. We need to accelerate. We need to welcome new treatments in the future and stop progression definitively. We will talk about this in the meeting. And of course, this Congress, this annual meeting will use this opportunity to put in the agenda also the progressive MS, as was also put in the agenda globally and international level with the Progressive MS Alliance years ago. We are now strengthening that opportunity. Okay, at national level, we have been working hard on progressive MS. My mom has MS since I was a child. For those who have been living with MS for a long time, you know how much MS has changed, but still a lot of things need to be done. We have been working in the rehabilitation centers in Spain. The main rehabilitation centers network are run by the MS societies in Spain. We have been working for a long time against the consequences of the progression of the disease. We have been assisting people to improve the quality of life for a long time, and we know the consequences of that. So at national level, not only in my country, and all the countries at European level and worldwide, we know how to deal with that, and we of course will talk about rehabilitation, quality of life, and these topics also in the annual conference. I'm especially proud, of course, of the research, the funding research for progressive MS in Spain. We ran the M1 funding research project. It was especially significant, important for me because it was the first specially designed fundraising project for progressive MS worldwide, and we joined the Progressive MS Alliance at the beginning. We have been raising money for this. It was a great opportunity to start fundraising money in Spain for the research, and we have fundraised around 1 million euros in the last 6 years. We know the great effort we need still to be done, and of course we will still work on this project and more. Not only collaborating at the international level, but also working with the Spanish research network called RIEM in Spain, collaborating with grants about progressive MS. So progressive MS in Spain is very well known, and of course at the European and international level. Okay, I will put the focus on the annual conference and the topic. We will have the opportunity to meet not only people with MS, but also MS expert organization, MS organization. healthcare professionals, researchers, public health officials, industry, policymakers, a lot of different stakeholders all together collaborating and working together around MS. The topics you can see in the program are about data collection, rehabilitation, or connected with progressive MS, but of course we will update on the last research news about progressive MS, the current trends, for example, in rehabilitation. We will talk about also practical advice. We will receive practical advice about the challenge in the workplace, employment issues, very important also for people with MS, and we will also will deal with the psychological impact on MS and learn tips about how to deal with that. Enjoy it, learn, share. This is the family, the community, the European community of MS, and we will be together the next 2 years. This is a unique opportunity, and I invite you also to use it. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our moderator, John Mestram. He will moderate this virtual conference. John is the host of the Real Talk MS podcast, a very successful podcast about MS. Thousands of listeners in 92 countries, more of 500,000 downloaded times the podcast. So I'm happy to introduce him. Hi, John. I can see you now. Your connection, John, is your wife, Jane, was diagnosed with MS in 1997. You have been her career until she passed away this year. So you know the MS. You have been living with MS also for many years. You know very well what we're talking about. John is also a non-scientific member of the Scientific Steering Committee of the Progressive MS Alliance, the project I also mentioned before. And of course, you are involved in all the issues around MS in worldwide. I remember meeting you last year in the international meeting of MSIS in Athens. So welcome, John. Thank you very much for being here. And I am going to give the floor to you just to start with the Congress. Thank you, John.
Well, thank you, Pedro. And good morning, everyone. I am thrilled to be with you for the next 2 days. I think we have a really outstanding 2 days ahead of us. And as we get started, I want to take a moment and go over some basic housekeeping. First, if you'd like to review the code of conduct for the conference, it's available on the conference homepage. But most importantly, we want this conference to be as interactive as possible. And that means that your role is not only to listen, but to participate. And there are several different ways for you to participate during the conference. You can set up one-to-one meetings through your conference profile. You can attend the meet and greet sessions hosted by the European MS Platform team and the executive committee members. You can visit the exhibitions and catch the live sessions there. And you can participate in the live quizzes by using the chat box on the right of your screen. You'll also use the chat box throughout the conference to enter your questions for our speakers. So please remember, we're counting on your participation to truly make this conference an interactive experience. And we're going to test that interactivity right now with a one-question quiz. So please go to the chat box on the right of your screen and answer the question, what country are you from? And as you can see, as you're entering your country, we're getting a real-time word cloud. And it's great to see participants from everywhere. Well, I think it's safe to say you've got the hang of how to use that chat box, and that's great. We hope you'll be sharing the conference on social media, and when you do, please use hashtag EMSP Virtual 2020. And now it's time to meet the experts and start interacting. Over the course of the next 2 days, we're going to come to a better understanding of progressive MS. And the first step is understanding what progressive MS means and what progressing MS means. Our first speaker is Emma Rogan. Emma joined the European MS platform in 2014 and works in the areas of campaigns, external affairs, and young people with MS, while also supporting other EMSP initiatives. She has degrees in communications, equality, and social justice. And Emma is going to be joined by Jacobo Santamarta Barral and Christiane Tihon. Both Jacobo and Christiane have lived with MS for a number of years, but with different experiences. So please join me in welcoming Emma Rogan, Jacobo Santamarta Barral, and Christiane Tihon to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you all this morning. And I have taken a look at that wonderful word cloud to see so many people from different countries around Europe and throughout the world. It's a pleasure to have you here, and you're all very welcome. Thank you, John, for the introduction, and thank you, Pedro, for setting the scene. Right now, I'm joined with Jacobo and Christiane, and as John said, both have different experiences of living with MS. And now we're going to just probe a little bit more into the understanding of progressive MS or progressing MS and how those two words differ, but also for people with MS, what it means to them. So we're going to have a very brief discussion in what is a very broad topic, but we're going to tease out some of the issues that Jacobo and Christiane have experience with, but as advocates and as campaigners, they are extremely experienced in the issues for other people with MS, with progressive MS and with other types of MS. So Jacobo, I would like you to start, please, and you're very welcome today. We're very thankful that you're joining us this morning. Would you like to give us a little bit of your experience with living with MS, and why do you think it matters that we have this conference on understanding progressive MS?
Well, thank you very much, Emma, for the introduction. Thank you very much also to Pedro and to everyone who's attending this meeting. I would like to say that it's very important for everyone to understand multiple sclerosis, and for us to specifically to understand progressive MS. It's really important because, MS is not something that just happens to us. It's not just a disease. It's a disease that we have that, but it's something that comes along with us for a number of years. For the life we live. So when I was diagnosed, I was told that I was going to be living with MS for all my life. That I was going to have a lifelong condition, but I was not completely aware of that. Basically, because when I was told, it was not, I did not have any symptoms. So I was like, okay, this is not really, that does not really matter. But it did, in fact, because like 1 or 2 years after I started with those symptoms. But that did not stop me from doing everything I wanted to do until I started living with what is called the progression, with what is called or what is known and what is in fact the progression of the disease. So you and when I say you, I mean, well, me and everyone that has the disease, realizing that they have a condition, a medical condition that kind of like evolves with you as you go on. So it's not something that stops the way you are. I mean, when you have it and it's like that, and that's it. It's going to be slowly a little bit more difficult as time goes by. So you have to learn how to deal with it, and you have to be aware of that, and you have to really think well what you want to what you want to do with your life, but you cannot think, okay, this is going to stop me from doing what I want to do. You have to be really conscious. I believe, that is my belief, that you cannot stop doing what you want to do, because that's not the way you want to live, I would think.
Thank you for that, Jacobo. I think it really, as we know, it's with multiple sclerosis, it is not a one size fits all. There are different experiences, and Christiane, I would really appreciate if you would give us some insight about your experience with MS, and when it comes to progressive or progressing MS, how you consider that as part of your life. I would also like to make the point here that Christiane has extensive experience working with other people with MS and is very influential in her country in Belgium in terms of making changes for people with MS. So a little bit of your experience on that I think the audience would really appreciate hearing from you.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting. I'm not used to do it, so it's for me the first time, even if I'm with the MS Society since more than 23 years. But as Emma already said, there is no one-size-fits-all course in MS. But there is a life after being diagnosed with MS, different and sometimes even more grateful. But it takes time and endeavors. It's a personal fight that you have to deliver, a fight to strengthen your identity, that you are still a person affected by MS, not suffering from MS. For physicians and healthcare professionals, you are a patient, but at home, in your workplace, wherever you go, whatever you do, you remain a person. In the Belgian MS societies, we always avoid the word patient. This is, in my opinion, a key element that will allow you to better manage your condition. Again, I don't use the word disease because for me, we are not ill. We have some symptoms. We persons with a progressive MS have to live the present moment, enjoy as much as possible each minute of our existence. You are the only one that can affect your life in the good way or in a bad way. Our whole body has been altered, but we have to work ourselves on strengthening our immune system with positive waves. Ask for help. If you like sport, go walking, biking. Even if those around you do things and they say that you are silly, but it gives you faith. If you are still at work, do everything you can to remain at work. If you think it will be helpful, talk with your employer to see if arrangements can be made to your workplace. Talk to your colleagues so that they understand what you feel. It is very important to be considered by your peers as a person, and maybe you will find new friends. Don't hide that you have MS. It is not a defect, just something that you have to live with. And if by bad luck you arrive in a wheelchair, as I do, don't see it as a disaster, but rather as a help to still be able to do things. Go shopping, to the theater, a concert, a museum. I know that accessibility remains a big problem, but again, remain hopefully. The European Parliament has voted the European Accessibility Act to be implemented in the member states by mid-July 2022. So we keep smiling. We are hoping that researchers will find a miracle treatment to cure MS, but it will not be for tomorrow. The only thing that we can do, meanwhile, is keeping strong.
Thank you for that, Christiane. That is a very powerful introduction into your experience and to what your work with the Belgian MS Society. I just, when we think about the social issues for people with progressive MS, how do we consider the structures that we're dealing with now with the pandemic?
I would say the pandemic itself is just something added to everyone, and when you have a condition that is MS, it's just something that you have to take care of it alongside with what you already have. So it's going to be difficult, but you have to deal with it, and there's no other thing to do. So for example, when I was told, okay, you're not going to have more physiotherapy because obviously you're going to be in contact with anyone else, I thought, okay, that's going to be bad. But that does not mean that people are not going to be taking care of you. So I was taking, for example, I'm taking about me, and I know for a fact that many other people are, and I'm sure Pedro, for example, and I say Pedro as the president of the EMSP from Spain, he can talk from other for other societies. He's they are all taking steps to try and get people affected by MS to I don't know, to try and get the assistance they need, and they have been taking care of for those many years. So when I saw, okay, you're going to have, I don't know, a psychologist calling you and everything, it was okay, but how are we dealing with, I don't know, physiotherapy? And we were telling, okay, we can do that. We just have to have a call, and we are going to be doing physiotherapy. It's going to be different, of course, but we're going to have it. So
I think, yeah, thank you, Jacobo. I think on that point, different countries have been able, and different services have been able to respond better than others. But I would like us to take just a step into the now, and given that this what we're all here to consider, you know, I think it can be so traumatic to be diagnosed with MS and then to be advised that your condition is progressing faster than you would have imagined. You know, and within that context of a person's life, you have both very generously shared with us all the how for you personally, you have I suppose dealt with your own challenges, but for people with MS in different countries that are maybe not in a position to access services and not in a position to access what they need at the right time, whether that's treatment or physiotherapy or other aspects of making their lives with MS more comfortable and more manageable. How do we as an organization and as a community step up to that plate and step up and make sure that people with MS, with progressive MS, are getting the support that they need? How do we lobby and how do we ensure that their voices are heard? Christiane, would you like to share a little bit on that?
Yes, I can talk about Belgium. In the Belgian MS societies, branches have created what we call buddies, that are volunteers that care about a person affected by MS. An ear that listens, that does not judge, and that is available upon demand. For us, volunteering is a foundation of our organization and remains an important pillar. It remains an ongoing task to adapt volunteering activities to be the new needs of people affected by MS and those around them, because we may not forget that there is families, friends that also are affected by MS, and we have to take care of them.
It is really, I'm sorry to cross talk with you there, Christiane, and thank you for sharing that, how your society has dealt with the situation of the pandemic. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I would like to say thank you to Jacobo and thank you to Christiane. Of course, I know that we could probe your minds deeper and hear more about your great work and your opinions on how we should support people with progressive MS and do what we need to do to ensure people are living the lives that they want. Thank you very much, both of you. I look forward to joining with you for the rest of the conference, and I hope you enjoy a great time. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Emma, Jacobo, and Christiane. Before we move on, I want to tell you about someone else who will be working in the background during the conference. Chrissy Curtin is a cartoonist, and Chrissy's going to be illustrating our conference in real time. So we'll be seeing Christy's drawings throughout the next 2 days. Now, we're going to test your knowledge with an interactive quiz. Now, this quiz is going to have 6 questions, and you'll have just 15 seconds to respond to each question. So please get ready to respond. What is the percentage of MSers affected by progressive MS? Is it 30 to 35%, 10 to 15%, or 5 to 10%? And your time is up. And the great majority of you got that right. It is, in fact, 10 to 15%. Well, let's go on to the next question. A person with progressive MS does not have relapses. True or false? And again, your time is just about up. Get those answers in. And 72% of you got that question right. It is indeed false. Next question. According to the latest MS barometer, the number of patients affected by MS in Europe is more than 700,000, more than 1 million, or more than 3 million. And the answer is more than 1 million. Next question. There are periods of remission for progressive MS. True or false? So get your answers in. We have just a few more seconds. And the correct answer there is false. There are no periods of remission for progressive MS. Next question. There is currently no treatment for primary progressive MS. True or false? And time is up. And the correct answer there, and most of you got it, is false. Finally, the final question of our quiz. If you're a young person with MS, you can join the EMSP Young People's Network only if you live in an EU country. True or false? And most of you got that right. That is false. Well, thanks so much for participating in the quiz. Hope to keep you interactively involved over the next 2 days.